There we go.
Okay.
Chris, somehow you're in the same room that I've seen 4 other people in on other Teams calls over the years.
The
shared background. Okay.
Trying to. No, hold on.
Well, I want that room too. Hi, Marsha.
How are you?
Good. I'm redesigning my house. Do you like it?
Well, that's fun. Yeah, fabulous. Except there's some weird shadows behind you. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that our brother joins us today. So we'll see if he's able to from the woods in Michigan.
Nice.
Yeah. Who's letting people in? Should any of us as we see
I
them?
think
Or
that might be me, but I'm going through a whole bunch of
is it
tabs
okay
here.
if I do it too?
Yeah, can you do that?
Yep.
Who just said that, Melissa?
No,
Oh,
wasn't me. I don't have the technology.
Stop it.
okay. I think I figured out how to admit people. Oh, Keith is here. Okay, good. Because people always ask DNA questions. Keith is our DNA man. Mark?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Got a new haircut.
Yeah, the same one over and over, you know?
Well, now that I'm in the woods of Maine, I'm growing mine out.
Melissa, have you had snow yet?
Northern part. We haven't
Wow.
had any. We're here on the shoreline, so I'm hoping the same rule applies here as it does in Connecticut. If you're further inland, the snow is there, or otherwise you get rain.
Good.
George?
Hey, George.
George, you're on mute. Upper right-hand corner.
There you go. How's that?
That's
Excellent.
better.
Wow. Okay. How cool is this?
Yeah.
Okay, I just posted this on our Facebook page. Maybe that might grab some people. Keith is under the ocean. I can't blur my background because I live out in the country. The signal's not the best. So, you have to look at my messy office.
That's
But
all right.
when we do that, it takes up more bandwidth too. So I
Yeah.
think.
I hid a bunch of stuff in my office, so you can't see it the way it normally is.
Hey, George.
Mine just is what it is.
All right.
Office? What office?
Well,
That's all right.
No telling,
my
no
junk
telling
room.
what, yeah, no telling where you are, Keith.
Under the sea.
I'm actually in bed. Trying to warm up.
Yeah, we got rain today.
Wow.
Well, I will share a DNA snippet here at the beginning. I just ordered the full DNA sequence for myself for my Christmas present.
Oh,
Wow.
$379.
you're
Wow.
worth it.
It's a special deal that FT-DNA is offering to select customers. So it's normally closer to 900.
Wow. So you have to be invited to get that done, Keith?
We could probably share the link. And it had an option to order more than one. So I don't know how restricted it is. So
What all was included for it to cost so much?
$379, that's not so much. That's less than a full big Y DNA. But yeah, it's got your full genome. So basically all the genes and what they figured out causes what disease, and because the autosome is already telling you, whether you're likely to have attached earlobes or carry a tune.
Does it also tell you what famous people you're related to?
Well, that takes more than that's a tougher hill to climb.
Don't forget,
Autosomal only goes out about 3 or 4 generations. Well, so
don't forget your Neanderthal relatives too.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh, that's me.
I think that immune system we got from them every winter.
Hello, Dr. Hugh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're getting more people in. Oh, awesome. All right. We have some people that are listed as unverified. Is it simply because they haven't?
That's just because they're not on the Calkins World domain.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're outside of the CFA board group.
all right.
Melissa, I show you as unverified.
Oh, really? Well, I'm in big trouble if I'm unverified.
Are you from using your regular email instead of the CFA email? That might be it.
Oh, I went under my mailbox, so I don't know. All right. Do we want to wait a few more minutes or just get things going?
Well, maybe, I guess we wanted to start out by introducing some, everybody wants to say hi. So
And if everyone's okay with it too, we could always just post this recording too to the community group. So anyone that missed it, that wanted to be here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my picture posted on the community group. So I didn't want to take my picture on my other computer.
I cover that in my little video.
I haven't read it yet or watched it yet. Okay, so welcome everybody to our quarterly Calkins Family Connections, or Cousins Connections. I'm Melissa, I'm the president of the association, and I have the very distinct honor of working alongside some phenomenal people as we build this association and get us off the ground with the Calkins House and the new Hugh Calkins Center and Ann's Gardens and all these great things that we have in the works. I have Nanette, who is our vice president, and Chris Calkins Jr., who is our treasurer. And we have Peter, who is one of the board members, and Mark Sioma. Did I say that right?
You're good.
Keith, who is our DNA expert. Let's see, who else do I have here that's on the board?
Marty's jumping on right now.
Okay, Marty will be coming on. Awesome. He does a lot with SAR. Judy is, I don't know, Nanette, are you on the DAR too?
I'm working on it. I'm very slow.
And me too. Been working on it for about 10 years.
But Marjorie and I share the same Patriot. So when I join, I'm going to be with Marjorie's Patriot.
Awesome. Yeah, Amos is my Patriot, and that's been verified, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I just have to get a few generations of birth, marriage, and death certificates. So
right,
that's what I got to do. All right. So Cynthia Churchwell, welcome. Tell us a little bit about where you are. And
I live in a suburb of Chicago, maiden name Calkins with a U. Marcia Calkins, who's on the screen, is my younger sister. And our older brother Randall may be in soon. He's recently joined the Y-DNA effort for CFA. So we're interested to see what happens with that.
Nice.
Nice.
We
And
did
like-
not know about this in 2018. Marcia and I both were in the Chicago area and didn't know anything about this. So I'm sorry we missed that opportunity to meet you all.
Well, Michigan's not too far away from Chicago. So
No, is that next?
the next one's in Michigan.
Marcia was born in Michigan. I was raised in Michigan.
What part?
Is that the next location?
Yes.
Oh, is that
27.
27?
September of 27.
Cool. Excellent. See you there.
All right. Let me see. Marcia. Hi, Marcia.
Marcia, you're
Sorry,
muted.
something went sliding off my desk. I was like, shoot. Hi, so Marcia Calkins, Cynthia's younger sister, Randy's younger sister. Of the three siblings, I'm the only one that was born in Michigan, Midland, Michigan. Lived a few places in Michigan, moved to the Chicago area, got in the late 70s and stayed until 5 years ago. And now I'm in South Bend, Indiana. So Michigan's my home, and I look forward to coming to the next gathering. I couldn't swing the Seattle one, the more recent one, but I look forward to meeting some of you in person. And I'm fascinated by all of this. And of course, the different spellings. And I get excited when on our Facebook page on the feed, I see somebody else with our spellings.
Yeah. There's a few in Niantic where I grew up. Cousins that I went to school with. So welcome. And
Well,
George,
and we had Calkins people in our community. You know, we get phone calls back in the days of white page phone books, and they'd call and we'd say, no, wrong household. And little did we know that we probably are related. So
oh yeah,
Mhm.
I always say same tree, different branch.
Yeah.
That's my
Different-
little motto. I
different
should put
nuts.
it on a t-shirt. or
Different spelling.
something. All right, and George. Welcome.
Well, my dad never said much about his background. And it wasn't until after he passed and mom was in a nursing home, I had a couple caregivers with mom during the day. And one of them was into genealogy. So she decided, and she and mom became good friends, but she decided to dig into the Calkins family, and within a short time, she ran across you folks, the CFA. So at that point, I go, holy cow. And then she ran our family all the way back to Hugh and a little bit further back. So, and I guess our first triennial was in Chicago. And then Linda and I, and this Linda Pennington, she was with us in Norwich, and of course in Seattle. We made Seattle too. Linda and I have been, Linda, we've been doing a lot of traveling. However, she had a stroke this last April, so we've been hanging around the house here. She is improving, and our plan is to once again become snowbirds, get in the RV and head on down to Yuma for the winter. So we're struggling with that, but I think we'll be able to do that.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. So she is coming along, but it's this first time in a long time, in several years, we've stayed at the house all summer. Holy cow. And we're outside of St. Louis in one of the burbs out near Kirkwood, if anyone's familiar with that.
I went to WashU.
Oh, yeah. My grandfather on my mom's side, Shanks, went to WashU. And my dad got a master's, maybe two master's degree at WashU. So it's still there. It's still a good college.
That's great.
They keep asking for money, so I know they're still there.
Oh, yeah. Don't they all?
Thank you. And now I'm onto Hugh Calkins. Hi, Hugh.
Hello, Melissa. I'm sort of new to the group, but it's nice to meet all of you. And my cousin Peter has told me a lot about the group, and I'm sorry my dad loved coming to some of the events. So I'm just happy to be on the call.
Thank you. Where are you located?
I live in Baltimore. I've been here for 32 years. I was here, I did my training here in cardiology, and then I was in the faculty at Michigan for 3 years. And then I came back here and joined the faculty at Hopkins 33 years ago. So I've been here a long time.
Yeah, sounds good. And what was your medicine? What was
I'm
your
cardiology, electrophysiology, cardiac arrhythmias, pacemakers, defibrillators, catheter ablation, AFib, things like that.
3 years cardiac nurse? I got you.
Oh.
Nuclear medicine tech, I got you.
Awesome. Welcome.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Have Larry Calkins. Do you want to say hi?
Yes, I'm not sure why my video is not showing, but I've been trying to turn it on. It's not there.
Same
but
here.
What's that?
Same here.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I'm Larry Calkins. I'm from Chandler, Arizona, and I was at the Seattle conference and enjoyed that a whole lot. And so I've been trying to be more active, but not on the board or anything. So I'm just kind of involved. So that's all I can think of right now.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
And then we have Nancy. I don't have a last name, so.
And Nancy, you're muted.
Yep. No, okay.
We'll come back to
Back
Nancy.
to you. Kay Cleland. Hi, welcome. Are you able to unmute yourself? Okay. And we have our other board member, Marty, who has joined us. Marty, you want to say hi?
Hey, everybody.
How's everything going?
Not bad.
Bad. There he is. Awesome. And Marjorie. Marjorie was our secretary, and she's been helping us out with some other committees. Marjorie, how you doing today?
I'm good. How do I get my camera to work?
Well, there's a little camera icon at the top right of your screen.
Right. And I've pressed it about 75 times.
Press the arrow next to it.
I've done that too.
Yeah, I was having trouble with mine a while back.
Right.
I got it going.
Leave and come back. Sometimes that works, believe it or not.
Okay.
I'll let you back in.
It's okay. We'll vouch for you, Marjorie. We know what you look like.
All right.
But yeah, it's up to you.
I don't need to leave. It's all
And how
right.
about you guys, Marjorie? Have you had a lot of snow up in upstate New York?
No, we haven't. It's snowing right now, but not more than, an inch or two. This is the second time, maybe. It's not bad at all.
Kathy,
So we're just getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm expecting 21 people.
Awesome.
Wow.
Mostly my husband's family, and he says he's going to rent a hotel room. So
Nice.
it's your family.
For himself or for the dinner?
Yeah, oh, for himself to stay in
himself.
when everybody else is here. Yeah. So he won't.
Oh, it's funny. And we have Benjamin. Benjamin, can you unmute and say hi? Let us know where you're from. Kathy, Marjorie, Kathy's getting kicked out.
Okay.
You
I'm
got it?
Ben Calkins. I'm Hugh's Irish twin. And I'm a little bit the elder. And I live in near Chagrin Falls outside of Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
My camera doesn't work, but I have a remote camera, which isn't at my house. And I'm a business lawyer and sheep farmer. That's what I do.
Awesome. Do you have the sheep now, or is it?
I have I would say about 50 to 60 sheep now.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's a couple.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben's also a purveyor of skincare products that are made from his sheep.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I have a skincare product line called High Meadow Skincare. I'll give a shameless plug, and it's on Amazon, and we have our own website. It's a challenge though to get it moved. Peter bought some, so hats off to him.
And I complained yesterday the shipment was late and it showed up today.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Okay, well, welcome. What I know, Mark, Nanette, you probably have an agenda, but I kind of want to.
Whatever.
Okay, whatever. Okay. Mark,
I do know Mark wanted to say something and Chris wanted to say something.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Did everyone that said you didn't introduce me? I want to say hi. And for anybody that's the Arizona folks, I heard some Arizona people are coming this way. Come see me in Sedona. Okay, I've got extra room. I got a place to park an RV. Come see me. Okay. All right. Chris, did you want to say something to start about muting and cameras? And because I'm
I don't know if you're having any issues. I mean, like Nanette said, leaving and coming back in sometimes does help, but as long as we can hear you, I think that's the most important thing. But hi, I'm Chris. I'm your treasurer.
Okay, thanks. No, I just know later Mark and Chris wanted to say something, and then Keith, genealogy. DNA. Okay.
What I want to do is give an overview of this past year and the next coming up. Mark, can you share that
Yes, I will.
thing for me?
Get it up right now.
I can do it on my phone.
Here, give me 1 second. And there. And how does that look?
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so that's it. So here's your first slide, Melissa.
So, yep, our 2025 recap. The Calkins Family Board and subsequent committees. We had a long-term strategic plan committee. We have some new committees that have also been born from that one. And what we've been doing is we created and launched a 5-year strategic plan, which we've been talking about for the last for the last year or so. We created and released a plan for the Hugh Calkins History Center. We released the new logo, and I think Chris had it up on his background, if you can see it. We spent many hours designing, redesigning, and now we're trying to figure out the right color red, thanks to Marty. He's having all kinds of fun time with the red. And just make it more true to Hugh and Ann and why they came here. The old logo crest, it wasn't an actual crest from the Calkins Family Association, and it didn't really reflect why they came to America. We have the new updated calkinsworld.org website. If you ever find any issues with it, please let us know, because it is new and we're still working on it. We're launching a History Center capital campaign, or we have launched it. So if you've done your pledges, thank you. And if you're in the process of it, just let us know. We have reached, last I knew was 37% of our goal. Has it gone up since then, guys? Do we know?
No, it's basically there. We're at we think we're at 23 pledgers or donors so far, and about $135.5 thousand. The goal is 350,000, with then another 50 that will be looking to raise through foundations. So our true fundraising goal at the moment is 400. Awesome. There are people that we're in conversations with about other pledges that haven't come in yet. But any of you who we haven't heard from, we would love to hear from you. You can go straight to the website, and you'll find lots of ways to get to the right page. And if you have any questions about it, please feel free and send in a request for a conversation, and one of us can give you a call and chat about it.
Yep.
I do have a quick walkthrough on the pledge drive too, as well, if you'd like.
Sure, go ahead.
It was just how to make a pledge. I don't know if anyone is interested in seeing it. If that's
okay.
Let's go through the recaps and things, and then we can circle back to some of the detail.
All right. Cool. So several improvements were done at the house. We have new signs. We have those informational signs that show the history of Norwich and the house and who lived there. We had during the month of October, a Walktober event. So we had several people come in and visit with us and see the new signs, and they were able to read about what we were starting to do, and we have new signs being planned for the future.
This was, Melissa, you might, this was actually this was I don't know if it was Connecticut wide or New London area wide, but this was a regional event where people could go to any number of sites, and where one of the struggles we've had is getting recognized by some of the local historical organizations as being legitimate. And we're making progress on that. And the fact that we were included in this Walktober event is a real, feather in the cap that says, okay, they know we're here. They know we've got something to show, and they want us to be out there talking about it. So that was a great accomplishment.
Right. They did. I don't know if they did them last year. The first year we had the house, I participated in a couple of First Saturdays, and I think a Walktober event. And that one had been, we had a touch of a hurricane that year. So it was an abbreviated visit for most people on that one. But anyway, we are being, we're more vocal, we're more recognized, and folks are really being supportive. We upgraded our operating system. You probably have already received a lot of emails inviting you to join in to different platforms. And Chris can probably speak more to this than I could. But yeah, we're really advancing the CFA's operating platforms.
Yeah, what's happening is that as we transfer stuff over from the old platform to the new platform, the new platform says, "Oh, here's new information. I should send something out about it." And so
didn't you love that one?
It sends you a message. And so you're getting a little inundated at the moment because the new system is trying to get itself settled.
And when everyone's ready, I can go through how to minimize those notifications because they are excessive.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2025. Mark, go ahead and pass this along to 26. So we're continuing with the Hugh Calkins History Center capital campaign. We do want to get the funds raised so that we can build the new building. In the meantime, we're getting the building development phase for the History Center facility. I'm working on getting a surveyor up there so we can get our boundaries, our actually known boundaries set up. We want to continue to improve the house and the garden. We had the house, power washed, and it looks so much better. The back is closed off thanks to Peter and his staple gun. And of course, we knew the roof was done 2 years ago. And we're working on, like I said, logistics as to where the house and the gardens are going to be going. We'll be holding the America 250 celebration to honor Calkins patriots. I believe one of the new signs has our Calkins soldiers, anybody who served
not yet on that one, Melissa, but it'll come.
It's coming, right. So our patriot ancestors will be on that particular one. One of the gardens we're planning on doing is to honor the veterans. Expanding our research efforts, genealogy support. We're going to be working on some specific research work and hopefully do some publications. There have been Calkinses throughout the centuries that have done phenomenal things, and we need to know about them.
And we need for others to know about them.
Well, right. Yeah, us and others, of course. Mark, did you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, let me go back to a couple things, if I may. For 2025, we've really accomplished a lot. The important thing was when the group of us got together in Seattle, we wanted to get a plan going forward, and we knew we needed to get something down in writing. So we've gone through that exercise. we've put it in place and we've set 5 objectives that we're going to try to accomplish over the next 5 years. And all of this stuff is published on the website, so you can get a good sense if you're ever interested in details, or talk to us as well. So 2025 was all about getting ourselves on the ground, not only changing the logo, but even getting to the point of getting things like getting the capital campaign started from that standpoint. So the History Center is really the big project that we're working on right now. And so in a big picture, our plan is really quite simple. It is a 3-year plan to bring this together. Our intention is to raise funds over the next 3 years, and we're asking people to make pledges so they can pay it over the course of 3 years, to use 3 different tax years in order to make the bite easier across and give people more flexibility. And then beyond that, we're looking to build the center that's going to preserve the original house, create some beautiful gardens that we can share, which includes our history walk, which is kind of a fun thing that's gotten off the ground, and then the visitor center. And the visitor center is really intended to have 2 purposes. One of the purposes is that we want a place that when people come to visit, it's a place where we can see artifacts and we can meet and we can have a place for people to gather and do things. And that's really important. And then the other part of it goes down to this last 2026 objective is research. Melissa brought up the right things. Not only do we want to help people with genealogy and support, but we really want to get in and do research work. And we're fortunate enough that Marty is on the board, and he's a retired university professor who understands the research game. And maybe later on, Marty can share some comments relative to what that could mean. But we'd like the association to be known as a research center as well. And so it's going to take us time to build, but we think that we're on the right track. And then, as Melissa pointed out, we're continuing to make improvements around the house and the grounds. And the last one I just briefly want to catch on is the America 250 celebration. Everybody knows that 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the country. But a lot of people don't understand that there were 70 Calkins ancestors who fought in that war, probably more than any other family, or certainly toward the top of the list of how many members were involved in that. We want to honor them. So we're starting the process out. You probably saw in the newsletter, and if not, look at the website. We have a list of all of the patriots by state, and we'd like people to jump in and say, hey, here's my patriot. We haven't decided exactly what to do, but what we want to do is have some kind of an event at the house in Connecticut, maybe in the fall of next year, because I imagine things will be busy around the 4th of July. But maybe we'll get the local Sons of the American Revolution or the Daughters of the American Revolution, get some local politicians participating. And it would also be fun if we live in Florida. Our intention is to go up there and be there to honor the family patriot in person and turn this into a memorable event. And obviously, from that standpoint, we want to build a monument or a milestone to those people who did so much for this country from a standpoint. So that's an important thing for 2026. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. But thank you, Melissa, for giving me a chance to speak.
Oh, absolutely. You're better at it than I am. All right. And Chris, what were your updates? You're muted.
Sure. Yeah, I know. I wanted to share about the community. So let's see. Hello and welcome to the Calkins Family Association member community walkthrough. My name is Chris Calkins. I'm your treasurer. And this essentially is our private online space for cousins to connect, get updates, and also manage their memberships in one place. What I hope to walk through really quickly is how to make a post, update your notification settings, view your saved payment methods, as well as any transactions you may have made. tagging other members in your posts, using the chat feature, and also just explore the different channels that are inside the community. So as you can see here, I'm on our main website page. And if I go to support and member login, it's going to immediately take me over to the CFA Member Center. You can, instead of having to worry about remembering a password or things like that, you can just hit login with a secure code. Oh, let's see. See, even I forget. Okay. And we're just kidding. Okay. There we go. Got the right one that time. Too many emails, I tell you. And if that does happen to you, as you can see, you just try a new one and go from there. So my code that I got was 224778. If I just pop that in and hit verify, now we're in our member center. So yours should open up immediately to here. If it doesn't, you can always just click on what should just be right here, the CFA member community. Okay, so let me just zoom out a little bit so it's a little bit easier to read. As you can see from the left-hand side, there's different channels. That's what they call them. And you can see that I have been posting some different updates and notifications. Once you're inside, you can see like different events and things like that up here in the top menu as well. So if you wanted to just make a general post, what I would suggest doing is, going to general chat. If it's your first time here, if you go welcome to the introduction channel post, you can click and expand it. People have commented, but it was just basically giving folks ideas as to, what could be the use case of these different things and, how we can utilize it for good together. It's pretty interesting. Line of descent help, for example, one of the posts that came up was, and originally in the general chat, or maybe a comment, I can't remember, was that someone was looking for a Mayflower connection. And what I had done is I had posted to them that Judy would be able to do it. So if I wanted to comment on it, I could comment on this thread, or I could just comment right here. If I wanted to tag Judy in it, for example, I just do the @ sign and start typing her name, and then that way she'll get notified. You can use GIFs to add a little bit of fun, whatever you're into. Just please keep it appropriate, obviously. If for some reason someone's post is ever something that you think needs to be reported, you can hit the 3 dots at the top of the post and hit report, and then we'll get immediately notified so that we can make sure we take that down. However, this is a safe community because it's where our members are, so it's essentially a really big group of us. So we've gone over creating a post. Again, you can attach an image, a video, things like that. One of the biggest things that has come up is connecting one-on-one with people. And if you look right here, there's a little chat button. And you can hit start chatting, and you can pick any member that you want to chat with. Now, the next biggest thing that's come up is the amount of notifications that this community does send, which can be rather frustrating. Excuse me. So what I would strongly recommend is that you go in and you do 2 things. The first is that there is a mobile app. So I know a lot of us are mobile app inclined, and it would be super smart for us to be using that mobile app. So as I had mentioned before, in another video, you're going to want to download either from the App Store if you're on an Android device, or the Google Play Store if you're on an Android device, and the App Store if you're on an Apple device. All you have to search is GOKOLLAB in one word, or Go Collab, and use that same email that you use to get into the center. You'll notice that the channels, they're kind of condensed into a corner there, and you just hit the little menu button in the top hand corner to navigate the different channels. Now, once you have that app installed and on your phone, you can, well, you don't have to do that, but should you do that, I recommend it. You can go to the upper right-hand corner. I'm not sure if you saw that. I'm going to done it too quickly. But you go to the upper right-hand corner, and you can click either your face if you put an image in already, or it might have like a little silhouette of a face as a placeholder. But once you click that, you hit Manage My Account. And first, let's cover the notifications. Obviously, it opens up on your profile, so you can add a picture, update your name as you'd like it presented, any titles or changing your profile ID, your location, a little bio, things like that. But notifications, don't worry, I haven't forgot. As you can see, I have all of mine on. And that's because I want to make sure that, you know, if someone needs something straight away, that I take immediate action on it. But yeah, so you can turn any of these on or off. When it says push, that's what goes to your mobile phone as like an alert. So like any other app on your phone that alerts you, this would be a push alert as opposed to an email. But if you do want emails for certain things, like, hey, if someone mentions me, I want to know about it in an email. Or if you want to turn off the everyone tag, I am trying to keep those to a minimum. However, when I do use them, it's usually because I want everyone to see it. So just keep in mind that's why I have used that so often, because it is a new community, but those will come down quite a bit. In here, you can add in like your phone number if you want it visible, your email if you want it visible, and any of your social media handles as well. And one other piece in here that's quite nice is that if you hit billing and subscriptions, what you'll find is that you'll get a code sent to your email for security. I just got mine to come relatively quickly. Okie doke. And now you can see that I have 3 different tabs: subscriptions, invoices, and transactions. Okay. And if I had a card on file, I'm a lifetime member, so I don't actually have a card on file, it would show up here. All right. So as it relates to everybody else, basically, well, all of us really, essentially, you know, get in there and play around. It's safe. It's our bunch of members and things like that. You know, if you are finding something interesting, you could maybe take it to a chat. You can even do group chats if I remember correctly. I highly suggest downloading that Go Collab mobile app as well, so that you, instead of flooding your inbox, you'll just be able to go into the app and have alerts. Alternatively, if you just want to turn off the email alerts or even the push alerts and just come in when you get a notification, you can very easily do that too. There's buttons in the email notifications that will actually direct you right to that place, or you could always hit the notification bell up in the right-hand corner and it will show you all of your notifications. If you're like, all right, I've seen enough of this, you can always just mark all of them as red to clear out that notification bell. So that pretty much sums it up. I'm really excited at the level of people that are jumping in here and playing around, but you know, that's what it's there for. We're here to connect. All right.
Thank
Any
you, Chris.
questions?
I just got mine set up while you were doing
Oh,
that.
good.
I
Yeah, and if anyone
couldn't
has
figure
any
out how to
trouble, just let me
change
know.
my address, so you'll have to tell me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, and so our annual members too. So for the annuals, I did send out a little button, which actually I just updated because someone was like, why do you want my birthday? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, because I wanted to switch you to a free membership when I could. But to each their own. So I just made the date of birth optional. But if you are an annual member and you haven't filled out that form that I had sent out, you can either comment in the chat of this meeting and I'll make sure to individually reach out to you, or if you have like other questions or what, you know, whatever they may be, help@calkinsworld.org. is great. But don't be alarmed, guys, when you see maybe a text message coming in with like a quick alert, because you're probably like, whoa, the CFA stepped it up, which we have. So just don't be alarmed if you have a text, but if you have a preference of not having certain things come in, you don't want the emails, maybe you want the text, maybe you don't want either, and you just want to log in when you want to log in, it's completely customizable to how you want it. But the mobile app is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Chris, you had mentioned you also were going to show what the pledge process is.
Yeah, I can show that now. I just didn't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that really quick right now. Okay.
As long as we're into the tech piece, as you can all tell,
Yeah.
Chris, in addition to being our treasurer, is our IT guru, and he's much more advanced at it than any of the rest of us all. So we're all trying to keep.
I try to, make sure, as Peter always says, like, slow it down, Calkins. And I'm like, which one? There's a bunch of us. All right, hold on one second. Okay. All right, so I just want to give another quick walkthrough on how a member can sign up to commit their pledge and how that works. So as you can see on the main calkinsworld.org homepage, if I go to giving opportunities and I hit the History Center Capital Campaign, or if I hit learn more right from this banner, it will take me here. This is going to tell you about all the things. You can watch this video, giving you a full run through. And then down at the bottom, there's this nice banner that says help build the Hugh Calkins History Center. And this would apply for check payments, ACH payments, or credit or debit card. If you did have something like you wanted to talk about employer matching, DAF giving, or say stock gifts, you can always email treasurer@calkinsworld.org and we can get you situated from there. So as far as this goes, if it's check, ACH, or credit card, you just hit that button, pledge now. And all right, and if you just hit the pledge now, you'll see a make your pledge pop-up that comes up. So it says first name, the middle name's not required, but we do ask that if you do have one, if you could just at least do your middle initial. And if you do have a suffix like myself, I'm a junior, please add that in there. Use the email that we send you email notifications on. And if you do want to update your email, please just email help@calkinsworld.org and I'll be able to assist you in updating your account email. Your phone should be your mobile telephone number. That's because we are able to send text message updates and things like that for quicker, better response times and better engagement with you as members. And then your address. Finally, we get to the pledge level and schedule, where you're able to select which program you'd like to be a part of. So say it was Deacon's Row, and we have a 36-month monthly, annual for 3 years, or one time. So you would choose whichever one you'd like, and then you choose a date anytime in the future. So let's just say the 17th. Then you choose how you'd like to pay. So as you can see, when I hit credit card, it does let you know that you'll receive a pledge invoice. What does that mean? It means that based off of your selections, you'll receive an invoice at or around your started pledge time. And if it's credit card, you're going to then be able to, actually, I'm sorry, if it's credit card or if it's ACH where you would like the funds drawn out of your account for you, you're going to receive an invoice with a pay button where you can select check, ACH. That's where you securely put in your payment info, and the same with a credit or debit card. And then if it is like a monthly or an annual donation, it will then automatically charge that payment method. Last but not least, you have to say whether you'd like to be able to be thanked publicly or if you want to remain anonymous. And last, just sign with your cursor or your finger or a stylus if you have one, and then check these boxes and hit submit my pledge. All right, so you will notice that that goes in, and then you'll be in the system as you've pledged that amount, and your pledge invoices will come to you around that scheduled time. If there's ever a moment where you need to, say your situations have changed, please feel free to reach out to help@calkinsworld.org, or I'm always at treasurer@calkinsworld.org, whichever is easier, and we can assist you from there. Just try and be as detailed as you can. Thank you so much, and I hope that helps. That's all I got.
Thank you.
So and Chris, you and Mark and I haven't really totally circled up on this yet, but if you're among the people who have already submitted a pledge that came in before we had this system fully up and operating, and before we had the systems for payment up and operating, I don't think we want you to duplicate the pledge. I think we'll be reaching out. We will reach out to you and have a conversation about how to get the payment process set up.
Yeah, that's correct. And Mark actually and I had a meeting yesterday about that. Okay. That was one of the many things, right, Mark? About going through that. And Mark is going to have a meeting with your committee tomorrow about how you guys want to handle those going forward. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Good. Nanette and Melissa, if I can offer something for the group right now.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Thanks everybody for being patient. As you can see, Chris has done an incredible job helping us establish a platform where we have automation and administration and all those things in place. But it's really important for us as a group to make sure we understand from you what you think are important. So you see us right now focusing on what we're going to do with this house in Connecticut. You can see that from the website, we've already started writing and publishing stories about ancestors from the Calkins family or locations where the Calkins family has made their mark across America. We introduced tonight the idea for 2026. We want to expand our research capabilities and make that an important part of what this organization is going forward. And so you'll see things like the history walk and all these products are coming out of that effort. What I'd be curious of for some of the people who are on this call that we never really get to get feedback from is, have you seen those things? Do you like what we've been doing? Do you have any ideas? And give us some feedback, because I think that would be helpful. We can tell you a lot, but we'd kind of like to hear what's kind of important from your side. Can I maybe open it up and ask for some thoughts and advice? Maybe starting with something as simple as some of the stories or some of the things we've done on the website or the house, whatever anybody wants to start with. I'd love to just get some feedback about giving us some, moving forward. Anybody interested to share?
Good, bad, and ugly.
Go ahead,
Mark, just a reminder that we do have a chat, and we have a couple of people that just joined us a little bit late, but Ben mentioned his health skincare products. I think I put the correct link in the chat. I'm going to be looking at the site afterwards. So anyway, also that's another place to put some chat information. Okay, sorry, Mark.
Click on Ben's video if you go to his website. Yeah. It's a really great little 5-minute story.
So High Meadow Skincare. Okay, go. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mark, but
thank you.
Well,
anybody?
I'll start. I'll just say that since we met everybody in Seattle, what you folks have done is really great. The website, the communications, the planning, the organizing. Hats off to you for sure.
Thank you.
So I have some other questions on what our goal is, but in general, but we can get back to that later. But I think what you folks have done and the direction you're going is good. The thing about the 250th anniversary and getting everybody together and raising our flag a little bit, great idea. More activities that we can do, the more involvement we will get, and hopefully keep this thing rolling the way you guys have started. So I don't have any additional ideas or suggestions, but kudos to you folks for doing it. And thank you.
Thank you, George. You know, George, it was good to talk to you when we spoke earlier this week. I might call you and bend your ear from time to time just to get some reactions to some things. But I think we really look at it from a standpoint. It's interesting that the family is getting close to almost 400 years in this country, you know, coming up in 2040, which isn't all that far away. And I think what we want to make sure is that we've taken this property in Connecticut and put a stake down. And we want to build something that 300 or 400 years from now, they're going to have, that's still going to be around and going to be able to be something that people can share. We talked a lot about the fact that a lot of us believe this is really important, and it stems from a couple of key things, particularly the younger people. And that's really the motivation. We found that when many young people don't know where they're going in life and they struggle to find things. But what we found through research is when younger people know their family history, they tend to be far better grounded in where they and how they behave and how they perform in life. And that's what this is all about. It's all about taking the history of the past, showing our commitment to the family, and sharing that particularly with the younger people to give them hopefully an advantage as they set forward and move ahead in their lives. And that's kind of one of the really important underlying issue. And then the other piece to it is getting them physically involved. You know, that is really an important part to this. So when you look at things like Sons of the American Revolution, well, you know what? If Nanette, you register and become a member of DAR, well, then your kids and your grandkids, all of those people should be enrolled as well and get them involved in participating in activities such as that. That stuff's really important and why we are here. So I just want to emphasize that as something that is important and why this is happening and try to keep a perspective on it. So sorry, I've been rambling too much, but I'll open it to anybody else who has any questions or comments.
I didn't raise my hand. I'm sorry.
You don't have to. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tom Hollowak in Hawaii. I was just able to jump on. I just came back from a epic trip of 4 weeks to the mainland, going around California, and I've been involved in connecting my ancestry work to the concept of how indebted we are to our ancestors for being as incredibly hardworking and diligent as they were and surviving. There's just a lot of the research that I do into how people literally blazed their way across the land and made homesteads and created towns and communities and literally built the country. Younger people just need to understand that. We have had so many things handed to us in the 20th century and 21st century that it's important, I think, to go back to the 17th century and the 18th century and follow exactly how industrious everyone was. I think there's just been a general sort of a malaise. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I've experienced in the past 20 or 30 years where once the so-called greatest generation, the World War II generation, has been dying off, I'm just finding that there's so little connection to the importance of our history and the importance of what each individual did to build the country, and how important it was that they survived. Because if any of them hadn't survived, we wouldn't be here now. So there's kind of a participation in that I think everybody needs to understand, is that if everyone just sat around and watched television or read their phones like we do now, the country never would have gotten built. Granted, they didn't have anything else to do, but that needs to be conveyed to people. And I'm trying to figure out how in documentaries or in things that I'm writing or screenplays to come up with a nutshell of how to explain this to younger people.
So, Tom, one thing you might appreciate, on our website, under what we call landmarks and legends, we publish things and we tell stories of people who are legendary in their lives. And we talk about landmark locations where the Calkins families had an impact. One in particular, I think you might get a real kick out of, is under the feature stories of, and it's about Milo Calkins. He was a young kid that grew up. Do you know who Milo was? He was a
Are
young
you
kid
talking
who,
about the Milo Calkins who came here to Hawaii?
that's exactly where I'm going with it. He
It's
left
funny that you should
upstate. He
go
left
ahead.
upstate New York. He became a whaler, hunted
Right.
whales all the way down the Atlantic coast, came up the Pacific, ended up in Hawaii, worked in Hawaii in the trade industry there for a number of years, and then eventually retired with his wife in San Rafael, California. But his story is fascinating. And in that story on the website, we have photos from his original diary that he wrote when he was traveling.
Really?
And one of the interesting facts that came out of it early on was he discovered that he was one of the only people that didn't get seasick on the whalers, so on the whale ships, and that was one of the reasons he kind of hung around. But in that, he drew pictures of them harpooning whales or boats getting capsized by whales tipping them over. And we have examples of that in that story on our website. Those are stories like that that are fascinating. Another one that we have in there is one of my favorite ones. We found a video from 1955 that was an independent film that was created, and it was about square dancing in America. And it was a famous square dance caller was a Calkins in Western Massachusetts. Go watch the video. It's on the website right there, and it's fascinating. These are the stories that I think inspire younger people because they're fun to listen to, and there's more that we're uncovering every day. So to your point, that's why research is really important to us and why we really put more depth behind this organization so we can continue this effort and make this organization preserve for another 200 or 300 years.
Oh, that's great. Now you're right. Okay, now I'm literally going to go down that rabbit hole because I did not know about that. The reason I know about Milo is that going back and studying my ancestry, the bulk of my family line came through New Hampshire, and that's how I'm tied into the Calkins family because. At the time, most of them were concentrated in Connecticut, and they did go up the Connecticut River to New Hampshire and then across to Vermont, or what became Vermont. But I'm also related to a family called Gilman, and they helped found Exeter, New Hampshire, which at the time was the colonial capital of New Hampshire. And it's just inland from Portsmouth, but it's on a waterway. And so one of my ancestors on the Gilman side came out here on a boat in 1841, and he just happened to be on one of the boats that was bringing the Ninth Company of Missionaries, and the man who was the kind of like the cargo, they called them the supercargo. They were in charge of the cargo in the boat. His name was William Hooper, and he worked for a man named William Ladd. And they came out to Hawaii and started the first sugarcane. Milo Calkins worked as the clerk in their big store in Honolulu at the wharf. And when Gorham Gilman, my other ancestor, came out here, he took Milo's place because Milo wanted to eventually go back to the mainland, which he did. And then, as you said, he went to San Rafael. But the interesting thing is that I had two ancestors working together side by side as clerks in Honolulu. And so Gilman took over where Milo had left off, and they both had witnessed important documents signed with King Kamehameha III and conversed with him. And so there's kind of a fun intercession there, but there were people who were so important who came from New England to Hawaii that were trying to do good for the Hawaiian people. And frankly, I'm trying to write a history of some of those people who came to Hawaii, showing that there were good things about the white people who came to Hawaii, because frankly, right now, you know, America does not have a good reputation because they stole a kingdom. But Milo Calkins was one of the people who came over and actually helped with the kingdom. So that's one of the things I'm trying to write about as well.
Yeah, very good. And Tom, I think one of the pieces that goes to that is for 2026, there are stories like that that relate to some of the patriots in the Revolutionary War. We need to uncover more of these stories and get these published. So while we have so many great stories, I think for 2026, we want to see how many we can uncover for the 70 Calkins patriots in the Revolutionary War. So, I mean, I could easily see us having an event and, you know, celebrating the names of all the people and telling the stories of the families and how they were involved and how all these things happened.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Great idea.
If I could jump in quickly, this sounds like some great articles for the newsletter. So send them to the newsletter. Also, you can make short videos. Larry Calkins is on this call, and he made a really fun one about his family discovering or inventing barbed wire. That is on our YouTube page. And we have another series that we're going to throw out there for our Thanksgiving week with the Lois Smith story, because it has to do with Thanksgiving that's coming up. So everyone has so many stories, so we want to hear them. Please write them down. Please make a little video. You can do that on Zoom. It's free. And then we will post them on our YouTube channel.
Right.
I have a video. I was looking down the list of the landmarks of the grist mill, and I have a picture of my mom and I, a video of my mom basically at the grist mill. Of course, I can't find it now. And they're showing her how they, oh, here it is. Oh, awesome. I'm going to have to, who do I send this video to? Because we can add that to the link.
Send it to me and I'll process it for you.
Awesome. Okay. Because it shows, it was a day, basically like a day in the life of, and shows the video, shows the wheel turning. They have the water going, and how they made the corn, how they made the flour. My mom is there, and she's turning the turning the corn. All right, I'll send that to you, Mark.
Good old Grammy.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Another thing that some of you who may be familiar with is, particularly those of you who are familiar with Michigan at all. Judy's not on the call, but maybe I can share this. There is a place called Pewabic Pottery, which is in Detroit. And the guy who created Pewabic pottery at the turn of the century is a Calkins. And he has created some fascinating, he and his business created fascinating pottery and tiles that are displayed in many of the original buildings all over the city of Detroit. And it's phenomenal. So if you ever get a chance, look at their website, and we're going to add something to our landmark legends, our landmark locations as well, as another feature for that. And if we have our next reunion in Michigan, there's a good chance we'll be taking a tour of Pewabic Pottery. Fascinating people there. Another great story from the family.
Yeah, I believe that pottery business is an offshoot of the Calkins who lived in Whidbey Township, outside of Toronto. Cyrus Calkins, who came up with the group that Mercy Calkins and Frederick Calkins split off from Vermont and went up north and went to Montreal. And so there was a branch of the Calkins that, Montreal was almost like an American suburb at that time. It was part of French Canada, but because it was adjacent to Vermont and New Hampshire and all that, that became quite an area full of they weren't really expats, but they were people who went up to Canada for opportunities, and they worked their way down through the northern side of Lake Ontario and ended up in and around the Toronto area, and then came back down into Detroit through Windsor. And then I believe that pottery manufacturing connection is part of that branch of the family, which I've talked to a couple of members about that privately. I could be wrong, but it sounds familiar.
Montreal's where I went to university.
He was a individual who started out making ceramic dentures for teeth. And then he met this woman who was an artist, and the two of them made the decision to convert into art decor and pottery. It's
Wow.
Calkins spelled with a U in it, so that's something that's helpful. Yeah, I thought a lot of you would appreciate that. And his daughter, I think, is still around in Detroit, and she's very involved in philanthropic efforts. Marty and I went and saw the place a couple of weeks ago when we were up in Michigan and met the people there, and they're wonderful people. So I think we have a relationship we're going to build there. We also think there's a connection between them and Ellie Calkins, who was the big donor behind the Denver Opera House.
Yes.
That's named for her. So there's a lot of connections that just keep tying together around the country.
Marty, you got your hand up?
Yeah, Marty, go ahead.
This is for Tom. Go to the chat. I left you a link to what the Sons of the American Revolution's Revolutionary Rarities has done recently on the American patriots prior to, at the time of the English, kind of doing all those nasty things you were talking about on the Sandwich Islands, which was Hawaii. And this is about a 20, 30-minute video clip about how the Americans were perceived far more favorably and why actually they were more open to becoming a state as they did in the late 1950s. So it wasn't all bad. And this gives kind of an interesting perspective on the difference between the Americans and the English at the time.
Great, thank you.
Marty, I don't see that. You said it's in the chat?
You might have sent it just to Tom.
Oh, okay.
So I don't see it either.
Let me see.
Oh, great. Thank you.
There it is.
Yeah. The founding, yeah. I think he. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but he sent it to me.
Yeah, we see it now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Revolutionary War rarities. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
All this interesting stuff.
really? If I could say a couple things, I know not all of our patriots had the Calkins name. You know, the women changed their names. So if anybody has those stories, please send them to Mark and Marty. That was in our last newsletter.
Yes, there may well be more than 70 Calkins patriots.
That's right.
Yeah. Actually, I have one, but anyway, I'll get to that later.
Thank you, Nanette. That list of the 70 names came from another great Calkins guy by the name of William Wirt Calkins. And he was a guy that was actually a soldier in the Civil War, was a prisoner, was injured, but survived all of this. And after the war, he got into botany and did some amazing discoveries. And then beyond that, he became a writer doing research for the government after the war. And he published a book of the Calkins ancestors who were in the military. And he did this from all the way back from the French and Indian War, all the way through, I think, all the way through the Spanish-American War in the early 1900s. So in other words, pre-World War I. It's a fascinating story. Marcia, were you waving or? Your mic's on mute.
You're muted.
I was waving at my brother-in-law, sorry.
Oh.
But I see a
not a
comment that Chris had put up, Mark, that Cynthia had her hand up, so.
Okay, Cynthia?
I was wondering when you talk about Calkins patriots, up to what date are you thinking?
Well, the Patriots that we have right now, we've only been focusing around the Revolutionary War. Now, you've also got some of those guys who, believe it or not, who were soldiers in the French and Indian War for the British from that standpoint, and then also served in the Revolutionary War. So, one of the, you can see where things get a little mixed from time to time. But the reality of it is the best document we've got is William Wirt's book, by far. And that's actually, you can read that on our line under our research area. You can see it we have a link to it as well. But fascinating stuff. And like Lynette said, how many people that don't even have the Calkins name have we missed? So Marty, you have your hand up?
Yes. It depends. And it depends on what organization you're looking at. We're talking about basically Revolutionary War, and those have regulations, obviously, on how you get to it. But I established for the first time, surprisingly, the first connections to the Order of Founders and Patriots, which has a stipulation of patrilineal line from American Revolution up to a founding member of the country before 1657, I believe. And so I established Hugh and Elijah Calkins from the Patriots from the Revolution. But so what we've done there, I put this up around the 4th of July, that William Wirt actually has two books. It's the military roster, and basically he went in and he looked at all of the military retirement and claims made by people that had served in the Revolutionary War. He did a book on that, and then he added to it with a supplement. So that's where we're talking about for those Patriots. But you also have 1812 and Civil War and so on. And I wasn't going to bring it up here, but we have a Vietnam War memorial here in Florida where we live. And I put up I paid for a little plaque in the Calkins Family Association for a man by the name of, what is his name? I'm blanking now. David Earl Calkins. He's my second cousin, and once removed or something like that. But anyway, the point is there are three other Calkinses who are on the Vietnam War Memorial in DC and here in Florida. And I would like to I'll pay for it. I would like to do plaques for all those three other guys and cluster them all together on the pavement outside if you ever get a chance to come to Punta Gorda, you should visit this, because it's a replica of the memorial in DC, and it has in bricks around in front of the memorial, and in plaques in certain other areas, bigger plaques. And so we have one for the one Calkins, and there are I believe three or four others, but I've been reluctant to do that because they're from, I don't know them, and I didn't want to be presumptuous. And they're from all over the country, actually. Most of them are from the Midwest. And I found them by going to, and you can do this too, go to the War Memorial site, and people have left the most heart-rending tributes to these guys. They were killed at 19 years old, most of them. And it's a tearjerker, I'm telling you. And I guess it's close to me because I was also a draftee. But anyway, when we talk about veterans, and it's a very it's a very lengthy subject. Yeah. And it goes way back to the French and Indian War in this country. Unfortunately, there has not been a generation that hasn't fought in a war.
Yeah. So, Tom, did you have a comment? No, okay. So one of the things that we've been focusing on, and we're not ready to release it yet, but we want to give you guys a little bit of a tip off. So imagine the Hugh Calkins History Center in Connecticut. We're going to have the original family home set up in the front of where it currently sits. And our objective behind that is we're going to try to preserve that as a monument. Okay. And that's going to be the cornerstone of what we're building. In the very back of the property, we're going to be building a visitor center building. It won't be large. It'll be 1,500 square feet, but it'll be plenty big for what we're intending to do. And that'll be a place where we can have events, where we can conduct research, where we can have celebrations, et cetera, et cetera. But on the grounds, we've already started what we call the history walk. And we're creating a pathway around the entire perimeter of the place. And we're placing signs at particular points that mark or tell the story of the family lineage. And we already have the first 6 signs posted. And the first one talks about what was the land like before the settlers came. What was the environment of the area? And then we talk about the Calkins family establishing and the creation of Norwich, Connecticut. And then we talk about the house specifically. But we have other topics we're going to keep adding. We'll probably end up with around 12 to 15 signs by the time we're done. But there's 2 other pieces I wanted to share, which is consistent with what we're talking about. On one side of the property, we're going to build what we call Anne's Garden. And Anne's Garden is a tribute to her. And if you notice one thing, no one ever does research on the Puritan women. There's nothing to really tell their story. And we have some information that we're going to be able to publish, but we want to establish a garden, particularly in honor to her. And then on the opposite side of the property, we're going to build a military tribute for the people who served of the Calkins family. And the first thing we're going to designate, obviously, with America 250 is going to be the Revolutionary Patriots. And eventually we'll add other ones as well. So you can kind of get a sense for this property where we're going to have this, this tribute house. We're going to have a memorial center. We're going to have Anne's Garden. We're going to have a military tribute. And then it'll be linked all the way around with a history walk. So now you kind of get a vision of why we're looking at trying to raise the money to build this. And hopefully this is something we see lasting another, 100 to 300 years. So that kind of tells you what we're doing and why it's so important. And it's going to be a fun thing to do because we're going to be the generation that created that. And that, I think, is our legacy as we go forward. Nanette, you had something?
Yeah, you have photos? Do you have pictures to show?
I was going to ask him if he had to.
Do you really want me to release them? We haven't shared them with the board yet, so I've been a little, to be honest with you, I'm not ready to share it right now because I don't have it available.
I thought you had posted some stuff on Facebook or that has been on the website. I don't know.
There are some photos on the website that show some of the original artist rendering of what it would look like, but we have far more specific things. What's nice about this property is at the very middle of the property is a huge, and I mean huge, maple tree that is probably a couple hundred years old at least. Melissa, would you think at least 200 years?
At the very least, it's very big.
Yeah. And it is spectacular that we have this right in the middle of our website, and it has this beautiful fall colors that come in. So we have this great piece of property with this amazing tree in the middle of it and all these facilities around it that we're going to use and build something very special.
Nice.
Okay.
And if you look at the last newsletter, there's some photos in the newsletter of the signs.
Yeah. Thanks, Annette.
Hey, Mark, got a question. As we accumulate the $400,000 or wherever it goes to, at what point will you start to invest the money in these projects? What is the priority of the projects?
Okay.
Is it the garden, the walkway, the foundations? And a corollary to that, is the existing house now stable? I know that we've got a roof on it and we've cleaned the siding up and some of the grass. Is the building stable? And is there any plans in the project to rehab it or just keep it stable and do the visitor center first?
Great question, George. Here's your answer. It's really simple. In our plan, we've established 4 priorities as to how we're going to do things. The most important thing is this. We currently have a note on the house and we're going to pay that off. And our objective is we are not going to allow this organization to operate into the future with debt. Okay. So we've established our 4 priorities. Out of necessity, the first priority is there's some work that needs to be done on the house. So once we have accumulated, let's say I think we have budget for like $20,000 to do the specific items to secure the building, some needed repairs to it. That's our number 1 priority on the house. We're going to get a contractor, and we've already spoke to a couple of people in the area who are historian contractors who understand this and they're intrigued by the house. So if we need to go beyond that 20,000, we'll talk about that as a group. But the objective is this: if we raise the 400, the first 20,000 or 25,000 goes to making the repairs on the house. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pay off a loan. We have to own this thing free and clear, and we have to have this organization in place. We owe about 100,000 on it. That'll be number 2. Number 3, we have about $50,000 allocated aside to do the grounds and the gardens and secure the property from that standpoint. And then number 4 is going to be that visitor center building. If we reach our $400,000 objective, we should be able to do them all. If we fall short of it, we'll be at a point, well, maybe we'll compromise on what we build, or maybe we'll compromise on the timing for when we build that visitor center. That'll be the last piece. If we exceed it, well, then we have the ability to do something beyond it from that standpoint. So the priorities are secure the building, pay off the loan, improve the grounds, and then build the visitor center building. Okay. So if we think about our plan, 2025 was all about getting this launched. 2026 is all about making sure we get the fundraising well in gear, knowing that people are making pledges now, but will be collecting funds over potentially more than 1 year. And then 2026 is about designing the building plan for what we want to do, so that by the time 2027 rolls around, we got the money in the bank. Theoretically, we're well on our way. We know what we want to do. We can probably consider breaking ground for the visitor center and doing things. And then by 2028, we're done. But you'll find we're going to start doing things on that house as soon as we can. Because the worst thing, the fastest way to get out of a hole is stop digging. Well, that house has a few holes we need to stop digging on and get those things repaired right away.
The priorities, what you identify, I think, makes a lot of sense, and not going into debt is an absolute, exactly right. Considering our situation here. Is there, and then maybe after all of that, maybe another project would be to go into the house and rehab it, because so far, right, what we have, it's stable. And it's ours, and that's good. That's what you want. And I think everything else, the priority is good. Somewhere down the road, we ought to go in there and fix that little puppy up.
Well, the answer to that is there's two arguments we've had on the house. We brought in historians and did a completely detailed study of the house. And they came back looking at the house with all of its open things, and they thought this was an incredible and rare building. And they've asked us to consider making the house a study house. Because when you look at that house, George, and you walk through it, there are parts of the ceiling that are opened up, and you can see the original beams that they used and how they built that house. And if you look around the area in Connecticut, there's 1 million homes. I shouldn't say 1 million. There's probably a dozen old homes that look like period homes from that standpoint. We think we're still working this through, but we like the idea of being something different and preserving and being able to illustrate what that house was about and maybe connect with University of Connecticut and turning it into a study house. where people can study how those homes were built. But from our standpoint, we've got to make sure it's secure. And the last thing we want to do is make it so there's going to be 100 people walking around inside. We want to make sure that we balance this. And that's why the visitor center, I think, is an important piece on the back for the crowds. So we have love to talk to you more about it, but we've got some very, I think, very cool possibilities for what we could do with the house. Rather than restore it to what it would look like in 1750, what if we show and have the ability to show how this home had 4 different, architectural periods that it was involved in, and show how they relate over the period of time.
Mhm.
Okay.
I've never heard about a study house, but it sounds like a really good concept.
It's probably would be, Marty, I think when we looked at that, did we ever find another one that was a study house? Marty, do you remember?
Not in Connecticut.
No, that's why we proposed it. The other houses in the area, there are innumerable houses that have been renovated and where the people have tried to make it look more or less like a period house, or have just made it to look old, like 19th century, with a lot of doilies and stuff. And they sit there with no visitors and struggling and kind of run down. So rather than try to compete with that, a new model is what we have proposed here with the study house, where it becomes something for people interested in dendrological studies, for design and architectural study, and so on, to go in and look at it and see how it has been modified for use over 400 years, and what has stood the test of time and what hasn't. And so on. So that hasn't been resolved, but as Mark was saying, the place needs to be stabilized first. It has gaping holes in the foundation and wood rot. It's been built on stone that was actually hand dug out from the old days, from a very, very rocky terrain. So it's a fascinating place in itself, but it's got a long way to go. And so hence the idea of a self-standing history center on the property that relieves the need to make an old building with rotting wood and so forth withstand a lot of traffic.
Yeah. And George, one thing we kind of alluded to, Marty and I met a gentleman at another one of the vintage houses in the area who is a carpenter who specializes in renovation and work on these type homes. We liked the guy. We invited him out. We spent a half a day with him and we walked through the entire house. And he was just on cloud 9 because he could see all the different, how they cut the wood and how they built the place and how it went into how it was done. And then he gave us ideas and said he'd be willing to help us as we move forward, making sure that we stabilize the building to the fullest extent we need to. But what's fascinating, when you look inside underneath the walls, they didn't use 2x4s. They use like 4x6s. And if you look at the beams, everything is like incredibly, built. And when Marty talks about the foundation, yeah, we probably need to get in there and make sure there may be some weaknesses in mortar, but this is stacked granite with mortar that was put into it that's holding the foundation of this property. You'll never find houses built like this anymore. So it's pretty cool, to be able to walk around through the basements and walk through the attics and look at this place. So there's a lot of great history when we look at the additions as to how they did. So the objective is secure the building. If it takes us more money to do it, well, we'll find a way to raise the money to do it. And then after all of this is done and we have a working history center and we have this house secured, what I think is going to be fun is now I think we need to switch gears as an organization and let's talk about what we do for the future. We talked about research. Research is really an important part to it. I could see us supporting young people who want to do research and maybe with publications and building out this organization and building something that could be really valuable and make a real contribution, to the community and to the family into perpetuity. So we have a lot of ideas, that can go, but right now we're just going to focus on the priority of doing it. Marty, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, if it's not too much, George, you mentioned in passing that you were a retired engineer. What was your field of engineering?
A mechanical engineer, and then I worked in the steel industry, in engineering, operations, maintenance, planning, all kinds of stuff.
So
That'd be
basically
great.
mechanical engineering too?
Yeah, application for
Great.
engineering. Mhm.
Wow, we can tap you.
Yeah. So what might be fun is sometimes when we're up there, maybe we could find a way to meet, or if not, we could do a call and show you some of the things that we're looking at. And because it's always important to us to get a few more hands in what's going on.
Right. And
So-
you know, as a study house, that doesn't mean leaving it in a stabilized but derelict state.
Right.
There's a lot to be done that sort of, you know, reinforces the parts of the house that are available to study and to be able to show them off and to be able to clean it up. So even if we haven't, you know, renovated the house so that we're putting doilies on the tables, our vision is that when the house is all said and done, it those of us who've been in it know what tough shape it's in on the inside. You know, the goal is that it definitely gets cleaned up and put into presentation quality for what it is.
Good. I see Melissa, you joined us. Hello, how are you?
Is it another Melissa? Or me?
Melissa Dare, yeah.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
You're muted.
And we have a few late comers.
Well, she's not muted, but she's not. We can't hear her either.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see if I can
Now
unmute
she's
her.
muted.
It might just be your mic selection, Melissa.
Yeah. I
Try
think it's
it
on.
now.
Nope.
When you click on the mute to the right of it, there's a little thing that points down. And if you click on that, you should see the microphone that it wants to select. And one of those will make sense, just one.
I've done this before where I log in twice and then I can't talk. So you have to go out and then come back in.
It happened to me as well.
Sorry, Melissa, we can't hear you. That's a shame.
Try now, Melissa.
But we're glad you're
it-
here.
Yeah, and Melissa, it was wonderful that you kept your grandson, Matthew Stidman, and interested in the association. He was wonderful to work with and meet when we went to Norwich.
So Melissa,
Thank
when you see that website, you know Matthew was the one who was behind it all. So
Yeah,
and he's turned out to be a
he's
good friend of
fabulous.
ours.
he's such a great guy. I just enjoyed being with him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any comments or questions or?
Melissa Dare, if you want to chat anything in the chat, you can. If
Right
we
in
can't
the
hear
chat.
you.
I did put on the list, if anybody had any questions for the board, like if sometimes people are interested in DNA, we've got Keith on the call. He can answer your DNA questions. Anyone has that? I'll remind everybody that the next newsletter comes out early February. So if you have any articles, please send them to news@calkinsworld.org. Or if anything, always about the post on our website, send that to Mark. For Facebook, you can send that to me at news@calkinsworld or anything, and we'll get it to the right person.
I just posted that link for you too, Nanette. So
Okay.
that it goes to you, and then I'll put that on the newsletter page like Mark and I were discussing.
Great. The reunion is in Michigan, 2027. So if anybody's local and wants to help with that, I think Judy is working on that, or Keith, or you just send a note to the board and we will send that to the right person. And yeah, kind of got a couple, sorry, I put a few notes here for myself. Oh, if anybody ever shops online at Walmart, you can round up your purchase, and that is a nice little thing, a little donation to Walmart, walmart.com. Also, it goes through
It's
Spark
like
Good.
Spark Giving or something, right? Or
Yeah,
Spark
it's
Good.
called Spark Good. Sometimes employers allow you to donate through the employer to a nonprofit. And so there's a few things like that.
All righty.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining
Thank you, everyone.
today. We hopefully got everybody even more excited with everything that we got going on, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Oh,
much.
wait, do we want to talk about the next meeting?
The next meeting, yes.
Yeah, our next Calkins Connection. Do you November?
Well,
Maybe in February after the newsletter comes out?
That sounds good.
yeah.
Okay, well we'll pick a date to be determined in February. How's that?
Perfect.
Good.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Alrighty.
Have a nice holiday season.
Happy
and
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
thank you for everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Until
Thank you
next
all.
time. Bye for now.
Bye.